Okay, so to talk about pratyahara, so it's one of the limbs, the 8 limbs on the yogic path, and it's you can think of it in a lot of different ways, but a lot of times with our, especially with our outward senses, our 5 senses, we tend to have a lot of attachment and distraction with these outer senses. Where we all know the feeling of you're sitting there meditating or in a concentrated, focused place, and all of a sudden the ding on your phone dings, right? The alarm on your phone sounds. And suddenly you're pulled out of the mindset that you're in and have an attachment to whatever just happened on your phone. And that's just one little example. There's many things that come in through our vision, through our hearing, through all 5 of our senses that can help to create that sense of the fluctuations of our consciousness that we're trying to hone in on in our yoga practice. So pratyahara is the ability to kind of remove ourselves from the distraction of our senses and bring ourselves into that inner state. And you can think of it in a couple of different ways. First, you can remove yourself away from the attachment of the senses so that you have a heightened sense of the inner senses, like interoception. Um, but also, you can think of it as your ability to hone in on one of your senses very strongly. So, to really appreciate what you're hearing or appreciate what you're seeing and receive the input of a sense so completely and fully so that you really savor and enjoy. So sometimes our distractions in our minds can take us even away from our senses. We're running around in our mind. My daughter said this to me this week. She is very busy right now, very stressed, lots of schoolwork, applying to colleges, just lots going on. And last week was particularly a lot going on for her. And she said to me on Friday, I didn't realize it was the beauty of fall. Like, she all week, even though she had been outside and going to school and all these things, she didn't recognize what she was seeing, taking in the beauty of the trees because she was so distracted in her mind by the effort of what she was doing. So a lot of times just pausing and stopping and focusing on your senses can also be a wonderful way of bringing yourself into the present moment and bringing yourself into the consciousness of a steady mind. So it can be withdrawing away from the senses, and it can also be fully appreciating the senses. So if you close your eyes during your practice or blindfold your eyes and ears for your practice, it can be a way of appreciating your senses, what they do for you, and it can also be a way of kind of honing in on that inner state. So let's start with our eyes closed. And there's no need to keep your eyes closed through the entirety of the practice, but of course you can if you'd like. So let's drop down our awareness right into the center of our body. So pay attention to how you are sitting. Are you in a comfortable seat? Do you have enough support so that your spine feels at ease, where your legs feel supported and comfortable? All right, so as you drop into the awareness of your body, let's take some time to align well, to feel that plumb line of the spine, and to feel the openness of the collarbones and heart, the feeling of support of the back body, aligning the ears over the shoulders, a deep sense of ease through your skull, through your face. And bring your awareness and your attention now toward the breath. Experience the full deep inhale and the complete exhale. Don't worry if it's a little hard to regulate your breath or if your mind is still a little racy and thinking about all the things that you're thinking about. But just slowly start to bring your awareness and your attention into the focal point of the body and breath. Let your eyes in particular kind of rest behind their lids. Feel the inner walls of your ears release. Imagine the bones in your ears can soften. As you're ready, place your hands together at your heart. Let's bow into your practice, offering yourself an intention. What do you need today? Let's release the hands and find our way onto our back. All right. So as you come into your practice, remember if there's anything particular that you're working with today, or if there's any part of your body that needs some extra special care, you can kind of divert off the group path anytime you want. All right, so we're going to stretch your arms overhead. Feel some sense of reach and length. Reach the left side, reach the right side. Just come into some awakening of the body here. Breathing well. All right, and then bring your knees into your chest. And just experiment if you'd like to feel into what it would feel like to keep your eyes closed. You don't have to, but just notice if you can let your eyes soften, even if they're open or closed. Let them soften. All right, let's circle the knees. Let's go 2 or 3 times this direction. And then switch. All right, let's open the knees up away from the midline and then back in. Just feeling into the groove of the hip joints and allowing whatever range of motion is available here today. All right, and then we're going to pull the knees apart as wide as they will go and just kind of hang out there for a moment. Keep your hands on your knees and just find a place where you can settle into the abduction of your legs, where you're pulling your knees apart. Breathing while you're here. And then bring your knees back in. Take a deep breath. Spread open your wings. Starfish on the ground. Roll around your ankles. Roll around your wrists. Just feel into that movement. And as you're ready, knees in. Give yourself a hug. Pick up your head. One more time. Spreading out on the ground. Exhale. Throwing your head in. Keep your right knee into your chest. Left leg long on the ground. Feel into the length of your spine. And compression in your hip. Feel free to move around in your ankles here. Breathing fully. Spread open the toes. Let your feet get used to being naked so that there's this sense of proprioception that happens in your feet, especially if your eyes are closed. Turn on the eyes of your feet. All right, and then let's switch sides. Left knee in, right leg long on the ground. Keep wiggling those toes. Wake up a lot of the fascia that surrounds your ankles, your calves, your Achilles, your feet. Good squeeze in the knee. Okay. Stretch both legs out. Take a deep breath. Reach into your limbs. Stretch all the way to your fingers and toes. And then exhale and bring your knees into your chest. Head comes up. Put your head back down. Happy baby. Grab onto your feet. drop your knees toward the ground and rock a little bit left and right. Just let your back open. Let your head be heavy. Breathing well. Roll over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. So notice, I'm sure you opened your eyes immediately because we felt like we need our vision. So let's try not to need our vision, but you can enjoy your vision. So when you come onto all fours, look at your hands. Notice your hands. Okay, how do they look different left and right in the way they're placed on the ground or the way you have pressure? Let's start to move through some cat-cows. You can arch and you can round. And notice if there's any natural tendency to keep the eyes open or if there's a natural tendency anywhere to shut the eyes. Okay, what is the purpose when your body naturally wants to close your eyes? Why? Notice what it does for you. Move the spine any way you want to move the spine. You can roll around in your shoulders, move around in your hips. Breathing deeply. And then settle back towards child's pose when you're ready. Walk the hands forward so your shoulders start to open up. Drop your hips back toward the heels. Walk the hands over to one side of your mat. So you have this sense of opening through one side and breathe there. Keep the base of the skull relaxed. There's some connection, fascial connection between the muscles at the base of your skull and the muscles in that control the movement of your eyes. So let's relax our eyes and relax the base of the skull. Walk the hands over to the other side. Drop some weight down into the hips. Stretch through your shoulder, enjoy the opening. All right, come back up onto all fours. This time, curl your toes under. Put your big toes together and your inner heels or ankles, whatever touches together. Then stretch back towards a closed leg child's pose. And that you won't probably go very far, but just open up the bottom of your feet. Stretch through the big toe mounds. See if you can open up the arches a little bit. Just stretch into the fascia in the bottom of your feet. And then come back and give your feet a little tap on the ground to release any of that tension. All right, and then we're going to find a twist. Lift the arm, either one, up in the air. Exhale, drop that shoulder down and see if you can feel the connection between the base of the skull and the eyes again. Relax the eyes, whether they're open or shut, and feel the ease in your neck. Breathe well. And then inhale, reach that arm back up. Hand comes down, switch sides, arm lifting. Exhale, drop that shoulder down to the ground. Keep the neck soft, keep the eyes relaxed. Breathing deeply. Inhale, reach that arm back up to the sky, hand down onto the ground, and find your way back to dog pose. And let's work on the feet here first. So see if you can pedal your feet nice and slow. Drop one heel while you bend the other knee, and then switch. So you're getting into the Achilles tendons, feeling the calves open. Spread out the bones of your feet so you feel into a lot of space that's available in your feet. And then once you're ready to have a little different movement, you can stop the pedaling and just feel the rest of your body. Ground through the four corners of your hands. Feel the bases of your fingers at your knuckles and root as best as you can. Reach the heart and lengthen your legs. Breathing well, keep the neck loose. Notice
the muscles and skin on your face, let them soften. See if it's okay to close the eyes. And let's walk our feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. Hold here. Inhale for a halfway lift. Now feel the length of your legs, stretch the backs of your knees, and then melt again. Rise up, bring the arms all the way up to the sky. Find a breath, cactus open the arms, hug the shoulder blades toward the spine, and then exhale and round them, chin toward chest. Inhale, arms come up. One more time, a big cactus. Exhale and round your arms together. Release the hands down. Give your hands a little bit of a shake. Just like we've been opening up the feet, let's open and close the hands now. So bring the hands out to the sides and open and close the fists kind of rapidly. Kind of flick your fingers out and then close the fists. And then press the hands toward the walls, fingertips up toward the sky. Inhale, reaching arms up. And then big arms stretch down. Shake them again. Interlace your hands behind the back. Open through your chest and bend forward again. Keep the neck soft and relaxed. Open up the fronts of your shoulders. Bobble ahead to keep it relaxed. And then when you're ready, release the hands down. A halfway lift. The spine is growing. Legs are straighter. Exhale and melt. Step into a lunge, right foot forward, left foot back. Enjoy the openness of the legs all the way to the foot. So bend those toes, lift the heart open and free. Find your breath. Let's begin to bend and straighten here. Feeling into the stretch of the hamstrings, the stretch of the hip flexors. Allowing your legs to have some mobility, moving with your breath. Right, ground into your lunge, rise up when you're ready. Bring the arms everywhere, anywhere you want them to be. Now try to see what it might feel like to close your eyes. And if you're going to do that, I would suggest bringing your arms, maybe elbows bent, hands out to the sides, or arms out to the side. So you have a sense of spaciousness, groundedness, feeling wide and broad. It might help to bring your hands lower. And don't worry if you lose your balance, it's okay. And now open your eyes, bring the arms to the sky. And then exhale and bring your hands down. Come back to dog pose. Lengthen through your spine again. Feel your feet open. When you're ready, come forward into a plank. Hold yourself steady. Integrating into the center. Hug your hands toward each other. Feel the shoulder blades drop down on the back. Feel your ribs knit in. Put your knees down onto the ground and find your way to the floor. Roll the shoulders. Now stretch open the feet. So we're pointing our toes. We're on the tops of our feet. Lengthen through your feet. Inhale, open up to cobra. Exhale and melt back down. Maybe try doing this with some eyes closed. Again, up and down. This last time we're going to do with no hands. So we activate the back body. Hover your hands off the ground, elbows reaching back, engage your core. Feel the muscles along your spine. And then relax and melt. Come up onto all fours. Move the spine about. Swish and sway, maybe eyes closed. Breathing well. And then relax. Come into a tricep stretch just for a moment. So elbows can be up on blocks if the ground is too far away. Drop your thumbs toward your spine. Breathing well. Stretch your arms out. Come either up onto all fours or dog pose. Eventually, we're going to bring our left foot forward. So coming into a lunge on this side. Enjoy your legs. You can put your hands on blocks if you want. You can close your eyes if you want. And even if your eyes are open, focus on what you're looking at. See if you can soften your gaze. Notice something about your foot that you're looking at. Notice something about the floor that you're looking at. Try to keep the neck neutral. Move within your breath. Bending the knee. And straightening the knee. And then when you're ready, find a good place for your legs, ground them down, and rise up to a lunge. Once you're there, if you want to try closing your eyes and see what your vision does for you, whenever you close your eyes when we're in balancing poses like this, suddenly we appreciate our vision so much. So imagine if you didn't have the ability to open your eyes. Okay. So let's enjoy our vision. When you do end up opening your eyes, bring your arms up, enjoy what you're seeing. Appreciate deep gratitude for what our vision does for our sense of balance and stability, safety. Release the hands, come down onto the knee. We're going to come back down onto the ground for a moment. So take your legs straight out in front of you. I would suggest sitting up on the edge of a blanket for this. Sometimes it can be very helpful to have a little bit of height. If you're not comfortable with two legs straight out, bend one knee, and you can do this 1 foot at a time. All right, so Dandasana, staff pose. Hands down onto the blanket that you're sitting on, or on the ground, or even on blocks if you're up high on blankets. Okay, so feel that sense of openness through your spine, and we're going to support our spine with our hands. We're going to move through our feet here. Point your toes, flex your toes, and then we're going to have a little flex point in there. So first you point, then you flex just your toes up toward the sky, and then you flex your whole foot, point your toes toward your knees, and then back to just stretching through the balls of the toes, but the actual toes are pointing up, and then point. So I'll call this a point, and then a flex point, and then a flex. Okay, so go back between those 3 pathways, back and forth, just helping our feet grow a little stronger. Breathing well as you do this. All right, and then relax that. Take your feet hip width apart, and we're going to roll our ankles here. Roll the other way. All right, relax your feet for a moment. I want you to invert and evert for your feet. So imagine you have eyes on the bottom of your feet. Your toes are pointing up toward the sky. We're going to turn the eyes of the bottom of your feet outward, so you can kind of look left and right with your feet. And then we're going to turn the eyes of the feet to look at each other. So we're trying to turn the bottom of our feet to look at each other. Notice, what your feet are capable of. Do you have control? Do you not? What do your toes do? Okay, so open into back and forth between inversion and eversion of your feet. And just notice what works well, what doesn't work so well. Are you getting any cramps in your feet? Do you have a lot of mobility in your feet or no? Do your toes cooperate? What do they do when you're trying to invert and evert? So developing some strength and stability in our ankles and feet. And then go ahead and rock your legs and just relax your feet. All right, let's go ahead and come up onto our feet now. Keep that blanket. If you need it, stick your blanket underneath your heels. We're going to be in a very low squat.
I realize when I look at my computer screen that I'm smack in a sunbeam, so let me move forward a little bit. Maybe that'll help so you can see what I'm doing. So I have my heels up on the edge of a blanket and I'm in a low squat. If you can't get low, that's okay. Just go as low as your body will allow. Okay. So perhaps you don't need the blanket and that you are capable of putting your feet flat on the ground. And if that's the case, you can do that as well. So just finding some, whatever the support that you need right now. A deep squat, lift your chest, find your breath. Okay, and then we're going to rise all the way up to stand. Take that blanket out of the way. Okay, now we're going to come up into the front of our mat. So you might feel that your feet are a little fatigued, or I don't know how your feet feel, but perhaps they do. So let's just give them a moment to ground and feel the earth. Standing in Tadasana. Close your eyes if you want. When you close your eyes, notice if your proprioceptive awareness, your interoception, that inner body sensing, do you have a little more sense of your feet on the ground? Where is the weight? Okay, we're going to come up onto our toes and back onto our heels and lift the toes. And you might feel like you're going to fall back, and that's okay. Just try to find where your range of motion is. So we're going to go back and forth between lifting and dropping the heels and lifting the toes. Notice when you come up onto your toes in particular, do you tend to, roll your ankles out? Where do you bear weight easily? Where do you not? Do you have ouchy toes that do not like this? So just go where you can. All right, now we're going to plant our feet, ground them down. Inhale, lift your arms up. You can put your feet together or hip width apart for this, whichever feels good. Come into chair pose. Maybe your eyes closed, maybe they don't. Remember the connection between the base of the skull and the eyes. See if you can soften the base of the skull. Now come up onto the toes. A little bit of a launch. Find your breath, knees back toward the hips, breathing well, and then slowly straighten up. And then back up on the toes, come back toward a heelless chair pose, and then heels back down. Up onto the toes, all the way up to stand, back into a heelless chair, and then heels back down. Inhale, rise up, Tadasana, separate your feet, hip width apart, pause for a moment, breathing well. One more time, or a little different motion. You can have your feet together or apart, you choose. We're going to squat down into our chair. We're going to stay on our heels now, no toes. Drop into the weight of your right foot, and we're going to hover the left foot up. So you can bring your arms out to the sides. You can close your eyes if you want. Breathe well. Soft shoulders. And then place that left foot down, anchor your weight into that left foot, lift your right, one-legged chair. Put your arms anywhere that serves, breathing well. Maybe try closing your eyes, see what that might feel like to balance without your vision. And then place your feet down. Inhale, arms up, big breath. One more time to do this. Onto your right foot, hovering a one-legged squat. And if your vision is open, focus your gaze softly on one spot so that you can use your vision as a tool for centering instead of distraction. Use your core, soften your shoulders. Other foot down, stand up for a moment. Other side, weight into your left foot, over your right, a one-legged squat. Use all your leg muscles. Keep your neck soft, neutral. Breathing well.
Stand up 2 feet on the ground, big breath. Exhale and float forward, relax your spine. Inhale for a halfway lift. Grow a little longer. Exhale and melt back down. Come on to all fours. So hands on the ground, knees on the ground. And as you're ready, let's lift the right leg straight back behind you. Integrate into the glutes and hamstring and your core. Left arm out in front of you, thumb up. Find your breath. Keep neutral in your spine. See if you can prevent yourself from kind of sagging down or rounding up. See if you can close your eyes. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, elbow and knee come underneath you. Inhale, bring it out. Place the hand and the knee on the ground. Second side, left leg out, right arm out, thumb up. Integrate into the center body. Maybe your eyes close. Keep the neck neutral. If your eyes are open, soft gaze somewhere. Find your breath. When you're ready, exhale and hover underneath. Elbow and knee come together. Inhale, bring it on out. Place your hand and knee onto the ground. Take a really wide-legged chair pose now. Drop your hips back toward the heels. Find your breath. Come back up onto all fours. Grab your blocks. We're going to come up, hands on your blocks, right foot forward. Back knee stretches onto the ground still. Open your chest. And then we're going to curl that back, those back toes under. Lift up into half splits. Spine gets longer. Find your breathing here. Square hips. Hands are on blocks. Lift up onto your toes of that right foot. Reach and extend. And then see if you can keep the hip lifting the way it is and just drop your heel down toward the ground. Lengthen through your spine. Do you need your vision? Deep breath in, exhale. Jiva squat. Tuck your knee behind your knee. Inhale, press it out straight. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, press it on straight. Place your left foot down onto the ground and enjoy Uttanasana. 2 feet on the ground kind of feels like opening your eyes, right? So when our eyes are closed and we're struggling with balance and then we open our eyes and it's like, we have extra support. When we're on one foot and then we put the other foot down, it's like we recognize how lucky we are and can have a deep sense of gratitude for 2 legs on the ground, for our vision, for all the ways in which we move through the world with such ease because of the ability to balance, feel stable, and perceive the world around us. Let's lift our right leg in the air. Half splits, lengthen through your spine. A deep breath here. All right, let's come up onto your toes. Lift that hip, lengthen through your spine. And then see if you can just drop the heel without losing the lift of the hip. Lengthen through your spine again. Deep breath. Exhale, Jiva squat. Knee tucks next to or behind knee. Inhale, press it out straight. Exhale, draw it on in. Inhale, press it straight. Place your foot down on the ground. 2 feet. Relax your head. Halfway lift. And melt again. Drop your seat and lift your chest to come up to stand. Open your legs wide on your mat. Okay. So wide-legged stance. We're going to turn our toes over to the right. Parsvakonasana. Elbow comes on your knee. Stretch that arm in the air and just enjoy your broad base. Feel even weight through both feet. Feel that you're not just one foot and another foot,
but you're also the space between your feet. Find that you're wide and big and broad. See if that allows you to close your eyes with a little more ease, that you have stability. Breathing well. Come back up. Triangle pose. Bring your hand onto a block or your leg, whichever you choose. And our legs are straight in this pose. See if you cannot hyperextend. So have your front leg be straight without hyperextension. You can always stick one block underneath the other block for a little more height. You can always put your hand on your leg for a little bit more height. So find the posture that's right for your body today. Breathing well. Root into that back foot. Be the space between your legs. Fill in the gaps. All right, come on up. Turn your feet the other way. Find your breath. Urdhva Konasana. Bend your knee. Maybe your hands on a block. Maybe your elbows on your knee. It doesn't matter. Stretch your arm over your head. See what it feels like to try to close your eyes. Maybe that feels possible to you today, maybe not. Keep the base of the skull and the muscles around your eyes relaxed, whether your eyes are open or shut. Find your breath. Press evenly through both feet. Spread open your feet. The four corners root down. Your feet are awake and alive. Feel them. Become the space between your feet. Maybe hug your feet toward each other so you can feel that you make up that space. Breathing well. All right, come on up. Find your way into triangle pose. Reach that left arm. Bring your hand down onto your leg or block, wherever your body goes. Once again, if you'd like to open your eyes, but be soft in your gaze. Find a focal point, a drishti. Try closing your eyes if you'd like. Whatever you're doing, relax the base of the skull, relax the muscles around your eyes. Feel your feet broaden and reach deeply into the ground. Four corners of each foot. All the way back up. Turn your feet straight. Okay. Maybe move them in just a little bit, just depends on how wide you were. We're going to come down, elbows or hands inside knees, just feeling your way into goddess legs with our torso down to begin. Feel your feet, spread open the bones. Open your hips now. Come on up. We're going to move the blocks out of the way. We're going to do a goddess pose with our heels lifting and lowering. So come down, and it doesn't matter how you go, how low. You could be up here. You can be much lower. So be where is comfortable for your body. Find your breath. Lift your heart. Put your hands anywhere you want. Maybe close your eyes. We're going to lift onto our toes. So before you do that, spread your feet, spread your toe mounts, and then lift your heels. Find the work, open your knees up, externally rotate your legs, put your arms anywhere that serves. Maybe try closing your eyes. Big breath, soft neck. All right, heels down, open chest, turn your feet straight. Come to rest. Relax your neck. Maybe it's easier to close your eyes when your head is bowed. Breathing well. Thigh bones move back. Your neck is soft. Turn back to the front of your mat for dog pose.
Feel free to pedal your feet or to really deeply stretch your heels back and then down. Come forward into a plank. Maybe your eyes are still closed. I'm not sure how much you're experimenting with that sense of pratyahara. Breathing well. Root the four corners of your hands. Knit your ribs. Knees can come down. Find the ground. Roll the shoulders a few times. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, coming down. Child's pose for a moment. You decide where you want your legs to be. Do you want your knees close or apart? Do you want your toes curled under or flat? Do you want your arms over your head or down at your sides or somewhere in between? All right. Come into Vasisthasana, but we're going to do it a specific way today. So have your right hand, your right knee, and your left foot lined up. We're going to do it twice. First time, shin is perpendicular to your mat. Inhale, lift your arm up. Now, if you're able to, lift your leg. I run out of room in my space here, but hopefully you don't. Open your chest, lift that leg. You want it up in the air as much as you can, toes pointing forward. Use your core. And then relax and melt. Now our left hand, our left knee, and our right foot are lined up. Open the chest. You can always put your hand on a block if you need it. And then lift that leg, that right leg in the air. Press your shin, open your chest. Find your breath. The neck is soft. Maybe you can close your eyes. And then exhale, back onto all fours. Child's pose, rest. Okay, this next round, we're going to do it instead of having our shin perpendicular to our mat, we're going to have it parallel to our mat. So your right hand, your right knee, your right foot, and your left foot all on one plane. Find your breath, press your shin into the ground. Now you might feel like I can't lift my foot up off the ground, or maybe you can lift it and just hover it, or maybe you can lift it high. So you decide which way you're going to be. Open the chest, soft shoulders, soft gaze, press your shin. Use those outer hip muscles. And then relax, back onto all fours. Changing sides, left hand, left knee, left foot, and right foot, all on a plane, aligned together. Lift the arm in the air, press your shin, lift that right leg up. And now if you want to put your hand on your hip for more balance or somewhere else, that's fine. Keep your neck soft, your gaze relaxed if your eyes are open, shoulder blades down the back, use the core. Use those outer hip muscles, breathing well. Exhale and relax. Child's pose. Soften. Breathe well. Okay, you can come up to stand by moving through dog pose and then walking your feet forward, or if you're skipping dog poses, then just come up to stand. We're going to find our way up. You need a block. All right, so before we go anywhere, just feel into that Tadasana. Let your feet be hip width apart. Root. Maybe soften your gaze or close your eyes. Interocept, feel how your feet ground. All
we're gonna find our way into Ardha Chandrasana. So legs are wide, turn your right foot out. I'm gonna shorten my stance up just because my space is short, so I need my foot back. You can come into a full triangle pose if you want. We're gonna come forward to reach our weight into that right foot. Make sure your right foot doesn't turn. Hop up, hand on block. If you need more balance, take the hand out to the pinky toe side of your foot on a block more. Lift up, open chest. Breathing well. Stretch into the bottom of your feet. Engage your core. Heart to hands are stretching open. Crown to tail is lengthening open. Be mindful to not lock out the knee you're standing on. And then when you're ready, a giant step back the way we came in. All right, so we're breathing here. Pause in between. Tadasana. Notice how nice it is to have 2 feet on the ground, to have your eyes softly open. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel your feet, soften your knees. Feel that your crown is right over your feet. We're going to move to the second side. So you can find your way into triangle pose, Parsvakonasana, however you want to get in. Our toes, our left toes are going to keep pointing straight toward the short edge of our mat. We're not going to turn them in or out. Okay, so bend your knee, hop up onto that foot. Remember, left hand on block can go further out to the left for better balance if you need it. You can also use a wall to lean your back against. All right, so find your way here. Move that leg into the air, active through both feet. Breathe well. Shoulders away from the ears, the crown and the tail long, the chest wide to the hands. The work is in your core and in your hips. Soften the knee. And then a big giant step back out the way you came. Last Tadasana. Enjoy the groundedness of your feet. Eyes open or eyes closed. Either way, we're soft. Now, lift your arms upward. Exhale. The halfway lift. Melt back down, dog pose. Last dog pose. Come forward into a plank. Knit your ribs, hands hug toward each other. Come down to the ground. Any back bend of your choice. Melt. Up onto all fours and move the spine about. Relax into child's pose. Let your forehead come onto the ground or onto a block so you can rest. Let your eyes close. All right, you have a choice between pigeon pose and reverse pigeon pose, or any hip stretch that feels good to your body. Okay. Right leg first. Breathe into the beauty of opening up your hips. Now, maybe if you can't reach the floor with your torso or head, a block can feel really good to put your head on. Remember that the spine is spacious and long. Breathing well. If you can, close your eyes. Melt the base of your neck. Feel your jaw relax.
Come back up, out of there, and if you're on your back, you can just change your legs. If you're in pigeon pose, switch sides. Take your time adjusting, finding where you need to be that's just right for your body. Breathing well. Keep the neck neutral and relaxed, soft as can be. When you feel balanced, you can come out of that pose and come down onto your back if you're not there yet, and bring your knees together. If you want to grab your strap, you can grab your strap and lift 2 legs up in the air. Move your shoulders away from the ears. One more time, have a little bit of flexing and pointing with your feet. Now we're going to take that strap off and come into happy baby pose. Go ahead and relax the spine, melt the skull. Breathing well. Maybe your eyes closed, feels nice now. Feet on the ground, lift your hips and scoot them to the right, pick up your knees and drop them to the left for a twist. Okay, come back to center, scoot them over the other side, knees up, drop them. Big breath here. Come back to center and let's find our way into Shavasana. So what support do you need? Do you need any props under your knees or under your head? Let your body relax, melt into the ground, melt the base of your skull. See if you can feel the way your eyes can settle and soften behind your lids. Enjoy the freedom, let your limbs melt down. feels good. Eventually coming onto your side. Bring body upright as you're ready. Close your eyes. Feel that inward state. Let's offer our energy out to another. Send your heart, your mind. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jen. That was great.
Blessings on the day.